Hey, sports card fans, it's John, Wade Boggs fan. Hope you're all doing well. When I put together my 100 cards for $10,000 list, I added cards of either one, players that I thought I could complete their playing days run of, or two, cards of players that I had very few cards of in my collection and that I wanted to add more cards to, knowing that within the scope of the $10,000 limit that I put on myself, I knew I wasn't going to be able to complete their entire playing days run just because of the cost of some of their cards. And one of the players that falls into that second category is Yogi Berra. When I put my list together, I only had 3 Yogi Berra cards, but at the recent Strongsville, Ohio show, I was able to pick up a 4th card, his 1965 Topps card. And it is the 13th card that I've been able to pick up off of my 100 card list. So I'm going to turn the camera around and show it off. Here it is, the 65 Topps Yogi Berra, his last playing days card. Now, whenever I see cards of Yogi Berra, he's just one of those players that, to me, always seems old. Now, in 1965, he was 40 years old, obviously at the end of his career. But if you look at some of the cards of Yogi Berra, even maybe into the late 50s, early 60s, he just seems really old. Maybe it's just the his face or the hairline. I don't know what it is. Obviously, he always has a smile on his face. But boy, he, in some of his pictures, he looks really old. Here, you could probably pass him for, 60 years old, but he was only 40 years old in 1965. But I love it is a PSA 4, but I love the centering on it. Again, it may not be perfect, but for me, has great eye appeal, great color, registration. I don't believe there are any creases on it. Here is the back of the card, nice and clean as well. Really happy with this pickup. Again, I don't mind that it's a PSA 4 from a card from the mid 1960s. PSA 4 grades are sort of my sweet spot. And before I get into the numbers behind it, what I paid for it, what I had it on my list, I thought I would show off the 3 other cards that I have of Yogi Berra in my collection. So the oldest one, and just 2 years from his rookie card, is the 1950 Bowman Yogi Berra. Just love that card, love the image of him in that field there, when the trees in the background, some of the players, if you notice. I zoom in here close, if that'll focus. Not sure if that'll focus here, but I think there you can see some. I think there's some players back there in the background. Just an overall, just great image there of Yogi Berra, and here's the back of it. So beyond his 1950 Bowman card, the other 2 that I have that I really like as well, his 1961 Topps card. Love the image of Yankee Stadium in the background. I'm not sure who that player is there behind him. You can't see a uniform number. But again, even in these poses here, he has a smile on his face. And again, just love the overall image of his 61 Topps card. And the other one I have is his 62. Nicely centered copy as well. That one doesn't have as much of a smile, maybe a little bit of a grin. And I don't know what stadium is in the background there. Not sure if that is a spring training stadium or a major league park. Not sure. If you know, would love to know in the comments of what that stadium in the background may be. So there's his 62 Topps card. All right, back to the 65 Topps card that I recently added here. Now, at the Strongsville show, the dealer that I got this from had boxes and boxes of cards, going from, I think maybe they had some cards from the late 50s, I think, into the 60s, all the way through the 1970s. And pretty much it was wasn't like a dollar box, but it was a box of lower grade graded cards of some Hall of Famers, some star players, and he had a sign that said 20% off all slabs. And he had a sticker price of $75 for this card, and 20% off of that is around $60. And I asked if he could or would accept $50 for it, and he agreed. So again, he had a sticker price of $75. I was able to pick it up for $50. Now, how does that fall into how I had the 65 Topps Yogi Berra on my list? Well, I had assumed a PSA 6, and I thought a PSA 6 that I would hopefully be able to pick one up for $75. So by dropping down to a PSA 4 and only spending $50, I saved $25 on this 65 Yogi Berra. Now, in a PSA 4, I looked it up on VCP, vintage card prices, and on the low end for a PSA 4 is $27. The average price currently is $42, and on the high end is $52. So I ended up paying on the high end of the current comps through VCP, but I'm very happy with it. Again, I saved money from what I thought I would have to spend. Again, I really didn't need a PSA 6 copy of this card. Very happy with this PSA 4 because I like the eye appeal of it, and I was able to save some money. So even though I did pay on the higher end of comps, that's fine with me. Now, overall, for 13 cards now on my list, those 13 cards, based on what the grade and what I thought I'd have to pay for cards of those grades, I thought I would have to spend $1,100. And I have only spent $595. So I am $505 to the good of what I had thought I would need to spend to pick up these 11 cards. So would love to know in the comments what you think about the 1965 Topps Yogi Berra card, his last playing days card, as he's mentioned as the catcher and coach, and of the 1965 set in general, and again, this specific pickup. And with that, that's all I have for you. Until next time, thanks for watching.